Squad Pod. Squad Pod.
Hey everybody, welcome to Squad Pod Sports, where we bring you our latest thoughts on the games and news around the sports world. We've had some news here in the NFL, a trade of another QB pretty late in the free agency so far.
See you later. Out my division, alligator. Peace.
Of course, we're going to be talking about NFL, some stuff going on, NBA, hot and nots, some other news as well. And then just checking in on NHL. Baseball started. We could talk a little bit about baseball.
The big March Madness tournament just
March
ended.
Madness.
Hit on that a little bit.
Yeah, March Madness just concluded. And then we'll, of course, get into the bias bubbles and the crazy sports fact of the podcast.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we can start off with the big kind of news of the past week is Sam Darnold got traded by the Jets to the Panthers. And not really what you would expect to get for him. At least I was kind of surprised. I have to find it here.
You think it was too much?
No, I was expecting a little bit more, to be honest. Like, it was, what is it? It's a 2021 6th-round pick and a 2nd and 4th in 2022. So I guess that's all right. I just thought about it as, like, for a starting quarterback. Like
A potential franchise quarterback.
Yeah, true. But I mean, he hasn't really done anything to warrant like a first rounder or 2 seconds or something. I can understand it.
But do you think they've made the trade? They have 2 quarterbacks on their roster. What happened to Teddy? Does Teddy stay?
Yeah.
Does Teddy go?
I have a little bit of news about that as well. Apparently, they gave him free reign to seek a trade if he wants.
I saw that.
But they also did pick up Darnold's 5th year option, so they're definitely keeping him around.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting. It says, following the trade with Sam Darnold, Panthers spoke with Teddy Bridgewater and allowed him the opportunity to talk with teams to potentially facilitate a trade. Carolina's open to Bridgewater returning, but will give him a chance to have a say in his future.
Hey,
So, I mean,
I think it begs the question, like, who's better? In your opinion, I think Teddy Bridgewater has been around for a while. He's the type of quarterback that has a bad reputation of losing close games. Like he's great against the spread, but he doesn't win the game type of thing. You know, so it's very weird. He's accurate and then he's inaccurate. And then I think overall, upside wise, Sam Darnold's probably got a lot more upside from this point on. Because we know what Teddy's pretty much we pretty much know what the ceiling could be for Teddy.
Yeah, we don't know. This is kind of a prove it for Sam Darnold because I mean, the Panthers arguably have a better roster than the Jets do.
Yeah,
I mean offensively.
Better
so
coach.
I mean, better coach. Yeah, new coaching staff and everything. So I mean, it could work out, but I don't know about Teddy. I feel like he kind of got done dirty, like Mariota with the Raiders, where they kind of like, all right, you can go look for a trade or get traded, but it's pretty late in the free agency. Everyone's already scooped up and know who they're
even
rolling
dirtier.
with. Yeah,
because it's even weeks after that.
Weeks after that, yeah, and nobody's looking for a QB. They're prepared for the season, prepared for training camp.
Right.
So I mean,
looking for other positions. QB was one of the first ones off their list.
Yeah. So now it's like, well, you can come back, but you're probably gonna have to rework your contract, be a little cheaper. Be a backup, unless they're going to let him compete for that starting job. You know, you never know.
I mean, I could see them opening training camp like that. I know I keep turning around, but like, look at this. This one pencil I pulled out the box was already broken, kind of. But anyway, I would love to see them open camp with both of them and see who wins. You know what I mean? Like, get both of them ramped up, like. And then it's never out of the realm of possibility of a midseason trade or preseason trade, even if he, right before week 1 or something like that. But we still have the draft coming up. There's tons of trades, draft days usually. Maybe not tons, but it happens. Yeah. So quarterbacks move.
Yeah, I mean, I could see him like maybe next year or something if the Saints move on from Taysom Hill or Jameis, bring Teddy back to the Saints. He was decent there.
Or
I
even maybe
mean,
Minnesota.
I said about this like within the network chat where I feel like Teddy is in the same position as Ryan Fitzpatrick is, where he's just like that. He's not really a backup, but he's that dude that's going to come in, start, and he's just going to be that dude, the filler, until you actually figure out what you want to do at quarterback. If you want to like try to go for someone in the draft or free agency, but they've always been that dude that no one's really built around, just like hopping from team to team, little placeholder until they figure out what they're doing.
Exactly. I completely agree with you. But it was interesting to see. I'm kind of like, see, I never really had too much of a problem with Sam Darnold, to be honest with you, but he was always with the Jets. So, like, I always been like, screw you, dude. You know what I mean? You're a Jets quarterback. I like beating him twice a year type of thing. Like,
yeah.
But he's gone now, so whatever, get out of here. It's not
he's
like...
always had, like, those little glimpses of, like, oh, Sam Darnold had a pretty good play or whatever. And then, like, the big incident where he was seeing ghosts. And that's like that was the whole talk, and then getting mono.
Was that against the Patriots?
I think so. Yeah.
I
saw ghosts. But he was seeing ghosts, and then he had mono and was out for like half a year.
He's been going through some shit the first couple years of his career here, but see what he could do in Carolina going forward.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a better situation there too. I do have some other NFL news. Seattle Seahawks signed Tyler Lockett on an extension, a 4-year, $69 million contract.
Damn, so he's staying.
He's like, I'm not going anywhere.
Extension. That's good though.
Yeah.
That's like a Julian Edelman type of player.
Yeah.
So that's
sticking
good that
out with McCaff, man. And then maybe if they scoop someone in free agency one of these years.
Right.
NFL sent a memo to clubs saying they should prepare to conduct meetings virtually when off-season programs begin April 19th. But don't anticipate another all-virtual workout program like 2020. Pretty much they're going to let them go out and practice, pretty much. We're going to have an actual training camp, OTAs, in person. So that should be nice, man.
Everybody getting up to speed before the season even kicks off. So we got great competition out there. You know, we're going to be able to see guys break out in training camp, stuff like that.
No excuses now.
No excuses.
No excuses. No, oh, it was COVID. People opt out. We didn't have training camp. We couldn't practice.
Oh, yeah. What about now? When the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl, now what? Now what's the excuse?
Chiefs and the Bucks again.
Chiefs and the Bucks again. God damn it.
Apparently, not because we talked about last week, all fans are coming back. They expect them back this season. Well, apparently, international games are coming back too.
Really?
Atlanta Falcons announced that they are going to be playing in London in 2021. They didn't announce who they're playing against, but at least Atlanta Falcons are going to be playing in London in 2021.
Cool.
So that we're getting back across the seas, across the pond.
Everything's getting back to normal.
Right? It's about time. Let's see here. Do have some other things. Former NFL center LaCharles Bentley landed a job in the league office. He announced on Friday he's been named Senior Advisor of Player Performance and Development. He will advise Executive Vice President of Football Operations Troy Vincent and work with youth, high school, and international football programs, teaching proper football techniques.
Okay.
I was like, that's pretty cool.
For the shield type of thing, you know, like not necessarily for the NFL, but like for the integrity of the game. He's out there teaching the young bulls how to do things, you know, what's the right way to play.
Yeah. Grooming them for the NFL.
Right. That's interesting.
Yeah. Another somewhat big news that we were told wasn't going to happen, but now you know how the NFL is. This, like 2 weeks later, it's going to happen. Apparently the 49ers are asking for a first-round pick in a trade for Jimmy Garoppolo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen some things because you don't know what the hell to believe right now.
Exactly.
I've seen that they're planning on keeping him and drafting Mac Jones. So who knows? But they're not getting a first rounder for Jimmy G. I don't think so.
Not right now. I mean, this is what I have as well. 49ers plan draft a QB with 3rd overall. Let him learn for a year in the process. Rebuild Garoppolo damaged value following injury-filled season. Trade him in 2021 for a better pick instead of settling for less in a trade now.
That's absolutely the best option.
That's what they should do.
Yeah.
Because apparently he only had the no trade clause in through this year. like next year, apparently he doesn't have the no trade clause
And
on his contract, and they could just ship him out.
Keep him,
right?
Like, just make him play the contract out or something. You know what I mean? And just trade him next year. Just wait it out. You got your pick now. It's not like they have to worry about that.
Yeah.
You know, so they got their pick. They can get their quarterback. They can even start Jimmy a couple games until they feel like Mac Jones is comfortable and let him go.
Yeah, I fully agree, man.
That's cool.
Yeah, this is surprising news. Former Ravens and Chiefs safety Bernard Pollard, Super Bowl champ, is coming out of retirement after 6 seasons away from the NFL.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He's going to play at 220 pounds, and he's looking for a challenge of competing. He's already spoken with Kansas City about a return.
He's not Frank Gore, so I don't know where that's going to go. That's very interesting. I'd like to see some developments of that throughout the
6 years out, and he's just like, you know what? I'm going to get back in the game.
I'm like, that name sounds familiar. It's been years. That's crazy. What makes you 6 years later?
6 years later.
Jesus. Think about a baby, and then think about how different a baby is from a 6-year-old. You know what I mean? And it's just like that's a long time, man. That's a lot of lessons learned.
When you put it like that's true.
That's a long time. Like, I'm thinking about it as like a parent here. Like, I have a 9-year-old, so like I'm thinking like 6 years ago I had a 3-year-old. That seems like forever ago to me, type of thing. You know,
yeah.
like
when you put it in that perspective, that is crazy.
He's just. I feel like I could make it. I could come back. Like,
he just didn't think he was in proper shape for 6 years. He's like, I'm just working on getting to my peak.
Andrew Luck could sit out another 6 years and still come back younger than Tom Brady is right now.
And be a starter. Like, not even like he come back in and like, here's the keys, Andrew. Like, I'm sure Jim was it Jim Irsay, the owner? Yeah, he's just like, you know what? I don't care who we have right now. Andy wants to come back. Got the uniform ready for you.
Come on back. I got 12 reserved.
Sorry, Carson. But
even if Tom's coming back, even if Tom comes, he ain't getting 12. That's for you, Andy.
Rumor mill time. It hasn't been official announcement, but apparently among NFL executives, they expect Larry Fitzgerald to retire before the beginning of the season. Yep,
I have that written down here. That was one of the big rumors because they were expecting him to come back for his 18th season. And now there's a bunch of reports flurling that he's going to retire. It's time to hang him up, Larry. Been a great career.
He did have a great career. I would like to see him,
but
I would like to see him try to win one with this squad that they have now, man. Like, I know that it is 18 years. It's a long time in the NFL. But, man, you got, like, a solid roster that could compete for a Super Bowl right now. I mean, it would be enticing. Unless he just feels like he's given everything he has to the game.
I think he would rather
go out on his own terms.
Yeah, exactly. Go out exactly how he feels like he should go out. So if he wants to retire, it is what it is. Yeah. He's had a great career, Hall of Fame career. Definitely. Absolutely a Hall of Famer.
Larry Legend. The other Larry Legend. NFL is seriously thinking of creating a Midnight Madness sort of opening to the training camp season, with 28 teams opening on the same date and with some fanfare accompanying it. The NFL is likely to eliminate the Week 1 Monday Night Football doubleheader, and ESPN would have one Monday night game to open the season. The plan is for ESPN to instead televise a Saturday doubleheader in Week 18, with the league flexing in 2 games with playoff implications.
No. I like the build up, waiting.
So would you rather have a 2-game opener or a playoff implication doubleheader at the end on a Saturday too?
No. Nope. Because you wait months and months and months and months and months for football. And then finally, bang, bang, here we go. Football season's here. We got Sunday, they roll football. Oh, yeah, football all day. You know what I mean? It's the opening game, all that. You probably have an opening game on Thursday, which is going to feature the Super Bowl champ and some bum that they can beat up on for the ring ceremony. That's great. I love that. And then you got Sunday, like I said, football all day. Monday, double header. 10 o'clock, a game starts. Are you kidding me? That's amazing to me. Most of the time, I do fall asleep. But, like, most of the time it's the Raiders anyway or something like that because it's a West Coast team. It's be like Raiders San Diego or something like that at 10.
I don't care about this.
But it's also Week 1. everybody has the same chance to win the Super Bowl. So I feel like
I'm more
power
likely
of
to
that
watch
game.
both those games than I would like if
I'm
it was the middle or the end of the season.
right. Even if it's Vikings, New Orleans. I mean, I'm a huge football fan, so like this, I'm not necessarily even speaking for me because I probably would still watch the Saturday doubleheader as you would. But like
Yeah.
a casual football fan would probably be more inclined to watch the doubleheader at the beginning of the season when it's like super fresh than at the end of the year if their team isn't even playing and say their team's out, they done lost. You know what I mean? Like say that's just how I feel about it. I would rather have that doubleheader on Monday in the
I feel
beginning of
you.
the season just to give us that. It's just such a good feeling. Like think about how you feel when you hear that football music in the fall for the first time and you haven't heard it for
It is
months.
great. It
And you're
gives you
just
chills. Gives you goosebumps.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I'm telling you.
It is. Let me see here. Updating the list. Here's the Jets' recent first round picks. I mean, we were talking about Sam Darnold. Pretty much all their first round picks from 2012 to 2018 are not with the team anymore. You have Copels cut, Milliner cut, Richardson traded, Pryor traded, Williams traded, Lee
And they
traded,
forgot they
Adams.
got Pryor in the first round.
Yeah. Jamal Adams traded, and then Sam Darnold traded. So,
Yeah.
like, they just haven't
I can't
done
say nothing because
anything
Bill
first round
Belichick has
picks.
not been drafting great for the last 9 years, 10 years. When he drafted Gronk, he was on to something. He drafted Gronk and Aaron Hernandez, but other than that,
Yeah. I mean, he's on to something right now. Not drafting wise, but he's on to something right now.
we'll see if he can make a difference in the draft. But we'll get to that.
Yeah. Do you have anything for NFL?
You covered pretty much everything that I have. Well, usually, I let you run through your list, and if there's anything, I just
wanted to
off.
see if you had anything. If you wanted to.
I got one
something
thing
to
that
talk
you
about.
didn't hit on. Ron was on Jeopardy, and that shit was awesome.
It was
You know what I
awesome. Man.
mean? It was
was
awesome
awesome.
just seeing him in that mood or that like environment, more or less, we'll say, like where he's
It's
just
so
like
chill.
just chill, and it was just a completely different. Aaron Rodgers be still on McAfee, but even more professional and happy type, where he's got to play at least he's on TV. He realizes that.
And I mean, he was on Jeopardy before as a contestant, and he apparently won. So I mean, like he's a huge fan of Jeopardy, I guess, and he was even talked about like he would love to like be a permanent host of Jeopardy, and like apparently he was on a like Instagram live video with his girl, and he talked about like he did the math where he's like, why don't we play football out of this amount of time? We shoot Jeopardy at like you would shoot a whole season in like 54 days. I could do that in an off season. And he's like talking about like doing like full-time Jeopardy and football.
I could do them both. Why wait till I retire?
He's like, just gonna go out here and be like ask like crazy smart people questions on the game show, and then just gonna go out and win an MVP, possibly a Super Bowl, you know.
He's gonna be asking players and coaches the same questions in the locker room. He's just be like, hey, I got some trivia. Like he probably already does that if he's such a huge fan of Jeopardy in the first place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I just thought that was awesome. Like
it is
just
really
such
cool,
a change
man.
of pace type of thing. Like
it's like, what world are we living in? Aaron Rodgers is hosting Jeopardy right now.
Remember when Gronk was in the WWE?
Gronk was in the WWE. Like, what is going on?
That. It's cool. It's just funny, but
Tom Brady goes to the Buccaneers.
Oh my god.
I think I do have a couple more things here. Former Seahawks defensive back Quentin Dunbar has agreed on a 1-year deal with the Lions. Going over there, Detroit, going to be biting kneecaps.
PC principal.
Some interesting news here developed today. With teams locked into the first 3 overall picks, apparently the Atlanta Falcons have now received trade calls from multiple teams and are open to moving out of the number 4 spot. And that sounds like something that maybe the Patriots would try to slide in. And build
you already know.
Excellent.
I have written
it's
down
all coming
a
together.
trade package that would be perfect for that number 1 pick that I saw online. I was reading this and I was like, that is awesome. I'm bringing that to the podcast. I forget what website I saw this on, so I would try to credit that in the comments later. But I did get this somewhere else. I didn't come up with this, okay? But They said Patriots could trade up to that 4th pick. It would cost our 15 this year, our first rounder, a 2nd in 2021, a 1st in 2022, and a 3rd in 2022. And I'm like, is that worth Justin Fields? I think it is.
If that's who you're planning on rolling with for the future, absolutely. Absolutely.
Do it, Bill. Do it. You know what? How I feel right now? I hope Bill.
If that's the future, that's cheap.
I hope Bill goes for the home run here in his last hurrah, even if we gotta suffer the consequences in the next 10 years. Like, just go for a good quarterback. Just try it. See what happens. You know what I mean? Like, screw it. You don't have to deal with.
And if you keep Cam as the backup, if he decides he wants to be a backup, he can, like, he's the perfect dude to help mentor Justin Fields.
Right. He'd be perfect for it. Former MVP, and he's not that style. He's not. I don't know how they are size-wise as far as height. I know Fields isn't a short dude. So man, I just, this is wishful thinking. This is all I'm saying. Please, I hope we get Justin Fields. That would be amazing to me. As a Buckeye
would not be surprised if the Patriots weaseled their way up there. I've been actually hoping that my Eagles would try to, like, weasel their way back up a little bit.
You got Justin Fields, or you got Jalen Hurts too.
Well, I don't want a quarterback. I'm just saying to get, like,
wide receiver.
Yeah, get one of the wide receivers.
Right, but the
get
Falcons
Smith,
are
man.
Like they're gonna trade that pick. The Patriots PFF Twitter account. I don't know how official it is. Like if it's like how official this Twitter account is, but it's the Patriots like pro football account more or less, and it was just like it tweeted at the Falcons. And it was like a picture of a different trade package. I don't know if it was this one or not because I didn't really even look at the details of the picture. But it was like, imagine the Madden trade thing where it's like blah, blah, blah. And it was like, hey, at Falcons, sorry about all the 28-3 jokes. Friends, question mark? Like, it had that picture at, like, as the trade going through for their pick. And I was just like, yo, that's so funny. Like, imagine the Falcons just being like, no.
You know what? I'm not going to do it just because of that.
Because of the last 5 years of 28-3 jokes, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Like, and I'd be like,
end up giving it to some other team that doesn't
give it to
need that
Miami
shit.
or something.
Yeah.
That was just random off the top of my head. Just somebody that in spite of us type of situation. Give it to the Jet or Bills. Just you don't even need it. Give it to the Bills.
Yeah, some other team.
But yeah, I just thought that was pretty funny.
The last thing I do have here, apparently Carlos Dunlap had a conversation and he said about Russell Wilson, he's with us, he's here to stay. Apparently talked to Russell Wilson before he re-signed. And apparently Russ is there to stay and he said, go Hawks. So, I mean, who knows? I don't know if that's just like trying to push a narrative that like, all right, everything's cool. Russ is fine, don't worry. And then next year, bam, he's out.
Yeah, skeptical.
I mean, Jimmy G was that dude 2 weeks ago. Now look, I mean, we would maybe let him go for a number 1 pick if you
remember this? Jared Goff is our quarterback, okay? That's who we're going forward with right now. So I think changes Jared Goff is our quarterback, and then like 3 days later they traded him to the Lions. So
nope.
Nope. Get out of here.
But that's all I have as far as the NFL news right now. It's been somewhat slow. Couple trades, couple signings and stuff.
Right. Just a lot
some
of
other league news.
Right mock drafts. And I don't feel like reporting on mock drafts too much, like other than some of the higher picks that are kind of a shoo-ins or sources, like when you talked about the 49ers talking about they're probably going to draft Mac Jones, like letting that be known.
We looking at quarterback central this year as far as like the first round, like the first like 10 within the first 10.
It's a huge quarterback year, so
huge quarterback year, huge wide receiver year too.
But this trade, the Panthers trade, did make it a little bit easier for the Patriots to get a quarterback, even if we don't trade up. A lot of the teams in between us and the 49ers at 4 there or at 5 there, where are they? They're 5.
Who?
49ers.
The 49ers. They're
3 because the Falcons have that 4th pick.
Yeah, 3 then.
Okay, but
it traded up to 3.
But that screwed us a little bit. But then this move here helped us back out a little bit because that eliminates the Panthers don't need a quarterback. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the Jets are picking way higher than that, and they're already, you know what I mean? Like so, or I don't even remember where the Jets pick is, but they were talking about this makes it a lot easier. Cool, let's see. Like imagine Fields slides to us at 15, which it probably won't, but
That'd
like
be crazy.
it'd be easier to draft up to a 10, 11, 12 spot, trade up to that, than it would be to trade up to 4.
Yeah.
So if it comes to that, say
What do you want for that like 4th pick? He's like, what you got?
say we get to the draft and we're at like pick 7, pick 8, and Fields is not off the board yet. You got 3-4 teams that don't need a quarterback.
Yeah.
But like maybe one does need a quarterback before the Patriots. I could see if they want him, trade up a couple spots. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, come on. I want to see
It's
some.
gonna be real
good
interesting.
shit.
I mean, the draft's only here in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So I mean, we don't got too much time. They need to start figuring some things out. I mean, I'm sure we'll get some crazy trades on draft night. There's usually at least one sort of trade. But yeah, that's all I have as far as NFL. We could kind of hop in the NBA. NBA has been popping here past week or so.
Oh yeah.
So I know you got that hot and not list this week. Wait,
Of course.
hit us with it.
Of course. Phoenix, number 1 on the hot list this week, okay? 6 straight wins, 9-1 over the last 10.
Ooh.
Devin Booker dropped 40-some points on your Bulls the other day.
Yes, he did.
I was
It was a
like,
good game.
It was
It was a good game.
Devin Booker is balling right now. Chris Paul,
Couldn't be stopped.
he's not necessarily balling, but he's playing great. Like, I love what I'm seeing. You're the one that predicted them getting the 1 seed. They're in the 2 seed right now.
They're only 3 games behind.
We'll see what happens.
They're
We'll
only
see
3
what
games
happens.
behind.
I called you crazy. But number 2, Dallas is actually kind of on a 5-game winning streak here. They're top 10 in the power rankings, I believe. So they've kind of climbed their way back up. I know in the beginning of the season we were kind of talking about what are they doing. They were dealing with some injuries. Porzingis, Luka, it was just kind of a mess. But it seems like they're kind of clawing their way back into things here. 7-3 over the last 10. Denver, of course, they kind of been hot lately, super hot. They just acquired Aaron Gordon.
Yeah,
right.
Aaron Gordon's on there. Yep.
Since then, they've been great. They're 8-2 over the last 10.
Yeah,
Milwaukee,
5-game win streak. Like
right.
That's like they're rolling right now.
They're doing great, man. There's a lot of teams ahead of my Lakers, but Milwaukee right now, 3-game winning streak. They've been doing pretty good. They made that trade for PJ Tucker, and since then they've been just fine. You know, so they're a big threat to Brooklyn in the East there. And then honorable mention this week is Utah. They have a 1-game losing streak, but they're 9-1 over the last 10. That was their, you know, they were 9 straight. They were killing it. So
yeah.
Utah is my honorable mention on the hot list. Okay. Then for the not list. Familiar face. Houston is back on a 5-game losing streak. 2-8 over the last 10. We'll see how long this streak goes this time. Washington, 4-game losing streak, 3-7. Have been great. Bradley Beal. Is Bradley Beal still doing what he was doing, or like, you know?
I haven't heard much about it. Like, Washington has been really quiet since after the All-Star break.
It's been a lot of Russ news lately. You know,
a lot of Russ news.
A lot of Russ.
It seems like Russ has eclipsed Bradley Beal during the second half of the season.
But Sacramento's back on this list. Lost 4 straight. They're 5-5 over the last 10. OKC lost 3 straight, 3-7. These next 3 teams are all the same. I didn't want to leave any of them off because they were all the same. So OKC, Golden State, and San Antonio all on 3-game losing streaks, all 3-7 over the last 10. So they all need to get their shit together, okay?
No bueno.
And then my honorable mention on the not list this week. I'm sorry.
The Bulls.
They're on a 1-game winning streak.
2.
You win tonight?
We won tonight. We on a 2-game win streak. We getting out of the hole.
2-game winning streak.
We actually womped up on the Pacers tonight.
Then I would take you off this list because I'm not going to put a two-game winning streak team on the not list. Okay, even
they are 3-7.
That'll put you at 3-7 because I had you at 2-8. But either way, I would take you off the not list because you won tonight. So congratulations.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that. We are only like 4 games out of the 8th seed. It's a little out there, but I mean, we're only 1 game behind the Pacers right now because we just beat them tonight. So I mean, we're still fighting for that playoff spot.
If you beat the Pacers, that's huge. So
we beat them tonight.
Got big steps down the road there. But
Yeah.
that's the list I got this week.
Nice. I do have some NBA news that has happened. Los Angeles Clippers are planning to sign DeMarcus Cousins.
10-day contract.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, I mean, he's going to be joining the other LA team.
Hey, that's all right. We'll see what happens. Like, if he can stay healthy, cool. We got a lot of worries right now other than the Clippers. The Clippers are one, but a lot of worries.
Yeah. Houston Rockets waived Ben McLemore.
Yeah.
And he ended up signing with y'all, I'm pretty sure. He went up and signed with the Lakers.
Thanks, Houston. We use him as our little corner three. He'll hit some threes for us down the stretch type of thing, man. I'm cool with that.
Another blow to the Hornets team. I mean, LaMelo's out. Now Gordon Hayward's going to miss at least 4 weeks with a foot sprain.
4 weeks, man, which is crazy because they were doing so well. So now they're definitely going to fall a couple spots in the seeding.
Yeah, I mean the Hornets, they had so much promise, and then it just like took a nosedive.
They're a little bit too early.
Damn it!
Maybe next
year. I
year.
had it. Maybe next year. Get someone in free agency, maybe.
Hey.
Maybe. Yeah, you never know. Milwaukee star Drew Holiday and the Bucks agreed to a 4-year maximum contract extension up to $160 million.
Balling. He's been balling, bro. I think he just won Player of the Week last week or this week, depending on how you look at it. But he's been balling lately, so that's well deserved. He's been all over the place.
Drew Holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean it seems like the past couple years he's just been like evolving more and more.
Right.
Like because last year he was balling too.
Right.
Russell Westbrook, because we speaking of Russ, we talked about him a little bit, how he's talking about getting all the news now out of Washington. He's the third player in NBA history to average 15 rebounds and 10 assists over a 6-game span. He joins Wilt Chamberlain and Oscar Robertson.
That's it. I mean, Russ is one of those players, man. Like, I know Alex doesn't necessarily, and he makes some good points. I just feel
I understand, yeah.
He's a Hall of Famer. He's accomplished shit that only a couple human beings on the planet have done. Like, you gotta give this man credit.
For sure.
Call him a ball hog, call him selfish, whatever. But like, man, like look at the names that he's with.
True. Yeah, look who he's with.
Like, I mean, like as far as in the record books, look where his name's next to. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
I respect the shit out of Russ. I don't care.
I do too, man. I do too. Speaking of another really good player, Nikola Jokic had his 81st career tennis game, passing Wilt Chamberlain for the most by a center in NBA history.
What?
Yeah, 81st career 10-assist game, passing Wilt Chamberlain for the most by a center in NBA history.
Damn, and he's still young. He's still
rolling. Yeah.
Hey, that's great.
Yeah, I mean he's really at like the peak of his career.
Right, he's definitely in his prime, like entering his prime type of play. So that's awesome. That's cool. Yeah. I hope he keeps it going.
Yeah, definitely. Another interesting rumor here that's came out in the past couple days. Apparently, Kawhi Leonard is intrigued by leaving the Clippers because he's a free agent after this year and joining forces with Jimmy Butler and Bam in Miami. So it'll be Jimmy, Bam, you got Tyler Herro, and then you got Kawhi Leonard.
I don't know how I feel about that. That's LeBron. Like,
I feel like that'd be a fucking that's a team. That would
be a great
team basketball.
But that's like not Kobe. That's like D Wade and LeBron's. Like, they go and win championship down there with Kawhi. I don't know. It's just weird. It just feels weird to me. I guess it's like it'd be the same as LeBron going there or Shaq going there or weird shit like that. So it's all good. Or Jimmy even going there. So that'd be cool. I just don't want to see those two teaming up, man, and make it a lot harder for my Lakers type of shit. Like Paul George.
I mean, Miami, they're a decent team without Kawhi, but you put Kawhi on there, and he's a free agent, so you wouldn't have to give anything up for him.
He's kind of doing whatever he wants to do right now. I like how Kawhi's just kind of like, I don't know.
Kawhi's in such a weird status where like you recognize him as like a star in the NBA, but like he's very low key. Like, you don't really hear much about him.
Right.
Like, he just plays game. Like, you hear about him more in the playoffs if they're doing anything. But other than that, you don't really hear much about Kawhi throughout the season.
It's just weird that he's on all these different teams already, and he's like one of the best players in the world, but he's been on. I mean, same with LeBron, you know what I mean?
And when he was
But,
winning
like,
chips.
I just feel like he gets less flack than LeBron for jumping around, you know what I mean? But like, it's not necessarily like he got traded to Toronto, right?
Yeah.
And then
he
decided to go to the
decided
Clippers.
taking my talents
So
to LA.
I don't know, but I'm anti Kawhi because he's becoming that LeBron. So like, I don't hate Kawhi or nothing like
It's
that.
because he didn't choose your Lakers.
Because he didn't choose my
His
Lakers.
decision.
He chose the wrong LA. He's in the wrong locker room right now. He's got to deal with that. Deal with it, Kawhi. I don't even care. Like, he had to watch. He had to look at this. He had to watch this happen last year because he chose the wrong locker room. So
staring up at the banner and the rafters.
Damn, that could have been me. That could have been.
You know what? Fuck the Lakers. I'm going to Miami.
I bet you Kawhi don't own one of these shirts, but I do. You know what I mean? He has a Toronto one. He has a San Antonio one. So
yeah,
he's got the
three,
champagne. He's got the champagne soaked ones. So like he's fine. Like he's got the real authentic ones. I'm sorry, Kawhi.
Sorry, I didn't mean it. Let me see here. Giannis is the second player in NBA history to go 18-18 on 2-pointers in a game, joining Wilt Chamberlain.
Cool.
So like everybody like Russ, like Giannis, man, you got all these like players like meeting all these legendary players and stats. It's
all
crazy.
These players catching up to stuff that Wilt set 50, 60.
Young dudes too, like Giannis, Jokic, Russ.
But still, it's just wild that they're just now catching Wilt as far as like how far ahead of his time he was.
Yeah. The last bit of news I have here is apparently James Harden underwent an MRI. He has a hamstring strain, and he has to be evaluated in 10 days.
He's going to be out until after KD comes back, because KD is apparently getting ready to come back here soon. So
yeah, apparently he was either going to come back tomorrow, I think they're saying, like the next game for the Nets, whenever that is.
Right. But when they get him back, apparently they still don't have Harden, so eventually they'll be at full strength.
I got a question for you. Who's going to win 1v1? You with LeBron's build and athleticism, but your basketball skills? Or LeBron with his basketball skills, but your build and athleticism? So you would be like in LeBron's body, but you have your own skills. And then LeBron has his own skills, but in your body.
I think LeBron wins both of those. Because, like, if he's in his own body with, like, no skills, right?
Well, it's who wins 1v1 is you with LeBron's build and athleticism, but your basketball skills against LeBron with his basketball skills and your build and athleticism.
That depends. I feel like I want to say me, because if I have LeBron's build up against my build, I'm gonna just bully the shit out of me, and like I'm gonna win. I'm gonna back him down. I'm gonna play post up. I'm gonna dunk on me. You know what I mean? But if I'm thinking about LeBron,
well, you gotta think he's gonna have his own skills though, so he'll be just like
exactly. I'm thinking about LeBron being in my body, which I'm taller than Muggsy Bogues, than Nate Robinson, than players that have been successful in the NBA. So you put LeBron's skills in a Nate Robinson body, even though I'm taller than Nate, like that's still an NBA player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if I don't have the skills of an NBA player, this dude is gonna destroy me no matter how tall I am.
He might not even have to like drive the hoop. He could just,
especially if it's make it take it. If it's make it take it, and he gets the ball off the bat and just doosh, doosh. So that's a good question. I would say LeBron wins that. LeBron wins that though.
LeBron.
Yeah, because he's if he has his skill, no matter what, I think he's gonna win that, unless he twists my ankle or some shit, you know. Gets his daddy knee all messed up, my daddy knees. But LeBron's got his own daddy knees too to deal with, so I don't know. I'm gonna say LeBron wins that though.
Okay. Yeah, I would probably say the same thing, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm shorter than you, so maybe I would have more of an advantage if I was like in LeBron's build against me. So I mean, maybe, but it's still LeBron. It's still LeBron's skills. Like he's gonna outshoot me.
Exactly. He's gonna be able to.
I'm just gonna have to keep trying to dunk on him every time or drive the rim.
Even his timing on stuff like block shots or pump fakes or crossovers, like everything like that.
He's gonna be breaking my ankles.
I'm gonna be done. He's gonna be blocking every shot. He's gonna be jumping over me. He's gonna think about the vertical. If he's got his skills, he's got to have his. Well, I mean, maybe if he's in my body, then we'll put that under my athleticism. So I don't know, man. I'm not that fit, so I don't know, man. That's a good question, but it's a good one. I'm gonna say LeBron.
I thought that was an interesting question to come up with. I found that on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
In other news, not in NBA news, but Hall of Fame North Carolina coach Roy Williams is retiring.
After a
long time, he a legendary coach.
Mm-hmm.
And a pretty interesting thing I saw about it is apparently on the day he retired, Roy Williams called Kobe White of the Chicago Bulls just to check in on him and see how he was doing in the NBA because he played on North Carolina.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I mean, that is really cool. I was like, that's so cool that like he called him on the day of his retirement just to check in, see how he's doing in the NBA and everything.
Probably just a casual conversation too. He said nothing about the retirement, just like literally checking in on him. Like that's cool. That's the type of dude he seems like, though. He's always seemed like genuine, like trying to just make sure these kids have a good future, regardless.
Yeah, exactly.
It's got replaced though by one of his assistants. Has been on the staff since 2012.
Yeah, I did see that. I didn't have his name down here though. I should have marked that down.
Ooh. But I thought that was pretty awesome. It's North Carolina's first African American coach as well, head coach. So I was like, that's pretty cool.
That is really cool.
But speaking of that, the Baylor Bears won the national championship. They beat Gonzaga. Gonzaga has turned into the Patriots of the NCAA, but
went undefeated.
You want to hear some weird random? I was gonna say this for the bias builder, but we'll talk about it right now. Apparently, New England Patriots own the trademark for perfect season. Okay.
Really?
Which we filed for after a perfect season before the Super Bowl. So that window there, we filed for it. We're granted it 8 years later, and still what? It's still. So like they were talking about
trademark for perfect season.
They apparently have the trademark for perfect season. And because they were talking about it, Gonzaga wanted it, they couldn't, because the Patriots already got it. Even though the Patriots lost to the Giants in that season, they were still awarded the trademark, but it was awarded 8 years later. It took that long.
Patriots weren't even like the first ones that had a perfect season, were they?
I know, right? But they're probably trademarked that shit.
They were. I guarantee it. They greedy.
But it's probably contributed to the bad karma of us losing too.
Maybe
if it was done in that window between us winning 16-0 and losing and becoming 18-1, you know what I mean? And those
still won more Super Bowls after that.
Yeah, true, but none of them were perfect seasons.
A little bit of MLB news, not to get super into it, but the MLB moved the 2021 All-Star Game from Atlanta, and they moved it. I think they moved it to Colorado somewhere.
I didn't see where they moved it to, but I did see that they moved it.
They moved it out just because, not to get into anything about it, just because everything that's going on. I'm sure everybody knows.
Right.
But I don't know if you have any MLB news at all. I mean,
no, other than opening day.
Seems like they've been going pretty well.
We got a new season upon us, so it's a lot of cool things going around. Mike Trout still, as far as I'm concerned, the best baseball player out there. So just business as usual. We'll see who pops out this year. I did see there was some ridiculous stuff over the weekend with that player getting suspended because of he bat flipped the night before on a home run, and then he hit a home run. And then there was the next night, and like there was like a collision at the plate with him and the pitcher, and he like flexed over the pitcher, and dude got suspended 2 games
For
that.
real.
And they're talking about how like this is why nobody fucks with baseball, because
No fun
like,
league.
it's not even turned, it's just like really this dude got suspended for showing personality more or less, like
Yeah,
he didn't do
they just
nothing.
want to be like, they want mindless players just to come in and play
bench
the
is
game.
cleared, and like dude had his arms behind, like dude did nothing like to deserve being suspended.
They just flexed on him.
The Astros, all those players got immunity from all that, and this dude
They cheated to win a World Series, but they don't get shit. They don't get a damn thing. And then the damn commissioner calls the trophy a piece of metal.
they don't care.
They don't
They don't
care.
care. So
Why
why
nobody watches MLB?
ridiculous?
I saw an interview. I forget who it was. It was an ex-MLB player. They were just saying that like the fate of the game is in the hands of the parents that passed down their love for baseball. Because as of right now, it's like not really too many people are like finding baseball and wanting to get involved with baseball now. It usually comes from like if their parents love baseball, pass it down to them now.
Take it
But,
to
like,
the stadium.
Yeah, they're saying that like the MLB needs to figure out how like something to like reach more like kids to try to attract attention to the league.
Oh yeah, I completely agree. Figure out some way to just like market it better. They need to be able to market their top players.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, exactly.
The
Yeah,
same
you
way
don't
the
really
NFL and
see
the
too much.
NBA do.
Yeah, I mean the NHL needs to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
They just need to
Yes.
market better.
That's why they're number 3 and 4.
Yeah, exactly. I did find it here though. The All-Star game moved to Colorado, to Coors Field.
Okay, cool. Is that
Yeah.
Milwaukee's or not Milwaukee? What the fuck am I talking about? The Rockies Stadium.
I would assume so. Yes, Colorado Rockies.
Cool.
Yep. But that's all I have for baseball. We can just touch on a little bit of hockey here before we hit the bias bubble. Nothing too crazy, of course. NHL, of course,
Never have
nothing too
anything
crazy.
out of hockey.
I mean, only that one whenever like the Russia was coming after the dude and he had to like he wasn't playing.
Or that ref getting fired. Oh,
Yeah, and then the ref, that just
a
happened.
little
We
bit of
talked about last week.
controversy lately.
A little bit, every now and then, but very not like very few and far between.
Right.
But yeah, as far as like the divisions, Central, you still got Florida, Carolina, Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay slid down a little bit. They're on a 2-game losing streak. In the East, you still got Washington, Islanders. Pittsburgh jumped Boston. Boston is in the 4th seed, so technically they're still in the playoff spot because it is the first 4 out of each division. But man, then you got the Rangers and then Philly. They just keep dropping now. They're 3-5-2. They just lost to the Bruins tonight. In the North, you got Toronto, Winnipeg, and Edmonton. Toronto's on a 4-game win streak. They're 7-2-1 in their last 10. They're doing really well.
Playoff push, baby.
Yeah, I mean Toronto, they've been killing it all season. And then in the West, you got Colorado, who jumped Vegas. Vegas has been that number 1 seed for quite a while. Colorado jumped them. They're on a 5-game winning streak, and they're 8-0-2 in their last 10.
Damn.
Yeah. So I mean, Vegas lost that 1 spot, and then you got Minnesota at 3.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's heating up here, man. I'm ready for some playoff hockey.
I'm ready for playoff hockey, man. The intensity of it's so much different. I'm so ready for playoff hockey. Like that's whenever I learn more about it because I start watching more. So like that's when I really start to soak it up a little bit more as far as all of it, like every aspect of it. So I'm definitely looking forward to it this year here.
Hey man, even though like the Flyers are probably not going to be in it, which is all right, but hey man, it's playoff hockey. It's going to be awesome regardless.
Exactly.
Same with like NBA. Who knows if the Bulls will be in it by the end, but it's still going to be great playoffs regardless.
I love the first round because you got basketball on every day, every single day. I love the first round.
But that's all the news that I have as far as like all the leagues going. So we're going to hit into the bias bubbles here quick. What do you got for us this week, Vern?
From my Patriots, I had some news about the trade like I was telling you, the potential trader more or less, trading up to the 4th pick. We covered that a little bit.
It could happen. I don't
It could
doubt Bill
happen, man.
Belichick.
I would love to see Justin Fields in this jersey. You can't see it. I want to see Justin Fields in that, please. Like that would be amazing. That's like that would be so amazing to me. But we did talk about that. I saw Jadeveon Clowney's name linked to the Patriots.
I haven't seen his
lately.
name pop up in a while.
I haven't either, and now that the first time I see it in a while, he's linked to the Patriots. That's very interesting. So like, keep an eye out for that in the future. Mm-hmm. That'd be amazing, bro. That'd be great. We are looking. I saw there's a wide receiver from Clemson, Amari Rodgers, who is dope as a slot receiver. Like they're saying he would be a perfect fit as a slot receiver. So that's one wide receiver. Like I love whenever you hear about skill position players, because that's obviously, you know, the offensive lineman, the D tackles, stuff like that. It's not necessarily flashy or pretty, but like it's part of the program. You need to draft these players, but it's interesting to talk about when skill position players get drafted. So it's cool that this guy's been linked to us. With N'Keal Harry's, Malcolm Mitchell, stuff like that in the past, you never know with these wide receivers as far as Bill Belichick goes when he's drafting them. So we'll see what happens, but I always love hearing about it. I love hearing about it. Julian Edelman is a bastard, okay? Let's just get that out of the way. And I'm still not convinced that
Gave everybody a heart attack.
I'm still not convinced that it will happen when it's all said and done. Like, and he might be a Patriot right now, but he thought it was a great idea on April Fool's Day to post a picture of, or it was like a GIF, more or less, of like Jack Sparrow talking about a pirate's life for me or something like that, and like more or less alluding to him joining the Buccaneers. And I pretty much all of Pats Nation had a heart attack for a second, but it's all good. It was April Fool's, and it took me hours to even realize that it was April Fool's. Like, I'm like, wait a second. This bastard got
you good.
He got me. But screw you, Julian. This is random Pats news, but there was an iceberg spotted. Okay. Looks exactly like Pat the Patriot, like the logo. Okay. I will have that up on the screen right here, so you can see it, the Pat the Patriot logo, but like very weird. I don't know if it was like a ice sculpting or, but like they're saying it's natural, but like it was very weird. It looks just like Pat the Patriot. Okay. And then apparently this is the last of the Patriots news I have, but apparently Bill Belichick ignored scouts while drafting N'Keal Harry. So that was interesting. That came out.
I did see that. I was like, is that Bill or Howie Roseman? Because that's what Howie Roseman does.
You should
doesn't listen to his scouts, and he just drafts whoever.
It's ridiculous.
Like,
but,
what do you
like,
pay
come
him
on,
for?
Bill.
What do you pay? Like, what's the reason of having scouts if you're just gonna go up with whatever?
Right, but hey, we gotta live with it. N'Keal Harry can potentially become something great. It's just he's the latest, so he's been really the punching bag because he's the latest of the Patriots' failures at wide receivers, you know.
Yeah.
But as far as the Lakers go, I had Ben McLemore being signed, which is great. Filled that last roster spot for us. Became a free agent over the weekend. Houston released him. Andre Drummond in his debut didn't even make it a half pretty much before he got hurt. So he's been out since his debut.
He's got something with his toe, doesn't he?
Apparently his whole toenail came off. Like, it was bad, like bad. But like he's talking about, he's like, it felt amazing to wear the purple and gold. I cannot wait. Like, he's super excited to get back. Like, please help us. Because Marc Gasol is pissed off right now, talking about he feels like he's playing C or D. He doesn't even feel like, you know what I mean? He's like, he's a professional. He's gonna be playing. He's not gonna cause any problems. But reports come out where he's talking about this. He's like, I don't necessarily feel like.
Yeah, I saw somewhere he was talking about like he knows that he's gonna be having a lesser role in the team once like Drummond comes in and everything.
Right.
Like, man, that sucks.
So I don't know. It's not necessarily the greatest atmosphere out there right now.
Guys are at the 5th seed as of right now. I mean, that's
another peg to the
I told you, like, that's what I predicted. You'd be at least 5. But I mean, at the rate that you're going, you're right. You could drop a little bit more.
But that's all the Lakers news I had as well. We've been just kind of rolling along, losing games, lost to the Clippers the other night, you know, so things are looking great. Things are looking real good right now. Just hope LeBron and AD get back soon because we're not the same without them. Like, come on. Oh, my God. Did you see Montrezl Harrell got ejected from the game the other day? Or it was
No,
actually today.
I didn't
But,
see
like,
that.
because Schroeder got into all, like the dude, like, picked Schroeder up and, like, all this. And, like, it was a mess. But it's not looking the best right now. We're just trying to get to the playoffs. Let's go. We need to get healthy, get to the playoffs. Hopefully things turn around once we get there. So I
Yeah.
bet you fuck around losing somebody like Portland in the first round right now.
Yeah. Especially like because we talked about before how like it will be nice if you guys could at least bring back AD or LeBron before the playoffs,
Right.
just to get that chemistry built rolling into the playoffs. Instead of just like, all right, they're back now for the playoffs, but you're gonna have to develop that chemistry
They're gonna
while
have to
you're
get
playing.
back in the basketball shape. Like I'm assuming they're gonna be fine as far as that goes. Like
Yeah. And
condition
if you get
stuff
matched
like
up against like the Jazz, the Suns, the Clippers in the first round, man, it might not be good.
there's 4 teams in the West that right now are like shooing. Like if we play them in the playoffs right now, we would lose. Like
Yeah.
that's 4 teams that I'm telling you. Like I feel 100% confident about that. Then there's probably 2 or 3 teams that are maybes that would beat us right now in a 7-game series. So like we need those 2 back desperately.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
that's all I had as far as my bias bubble goes.
Okay. I mean, for me, Flyers, they're not great at all right now, man. I thought they had a little bit of momentum after they finally beat the Bruins last night, and then they lost to them again tonight. So I mean, the Flyers just don't look great at all. The Bulls, we talked about how they are on a 2-game win streak now. There was a little bit where Zach LaVine had like an ankle injury, like a sprain. Apparently, he's fine now. Colby White was out for a little bit, but now Kobe's back. So I mean, each game it just looks like they're developing a lot more chemistry. They're building as a team since that trade happened, where they brought all those players in, like Thies, Vooch. Vooch is balling, like he's being that all-star that we needed. So like it's
Right.
great seeing 2 stars on the Chicago Bulls right now. Because I mean, now him and Levine are just playing off each other really well right now. Like
That's good.
Levine
They're just,
looks
like,
happy.
developing even more.
Yeah, he has a big man to work with. So I mean, hopefully you can make a playoff push. But I mean, if you get they get the 8 seed, we're either playing Brooklyn or the Sixers, and we're not beating either of those teams in
Right.
the playoffs. So I mean,
or Milwaukee if they can make their way up
yeah,
there.
exactly. Or Milwaukee. So I mean, who knows? I don't think we're beating any of those teams. It would be nice to be in the playoffs, but again, it would be nice if we could maybe get a nice pick, maybe get a player like build around. Because I trust this front office as of right now. They're making a lot of good moves.
Right.
So I mean, hopefully
In the
they
right
can build
direction.
off of that. Exactly, and then free agency. Hopefully they maybe can bring someone else in. I don't have too much news on the Eagles. This is some breaking news. I'm glad I got on the internet. Apparently Jim Schwartz is coming back to the NFL. He was like contemplating taking a year off after leaving the Eagles, and apparently he's joining the Titans coaching staff.
Interesting. Over there with Vrabel.
Yeah, it's an undisclosed role as of right now, but apparently he's going to be joining the Titans coaching staff.
I
mean,
still
he
don't
was
like Jim Schwartz, but at least like I feel like him on the Eagles made me like him even less because of you, and I gotta dislike the Eagles, and I already didn't like Jim Schwartz. Like he didn't look good on the Lions. He didn't look good on the Eagles. He looks like the Snake Weasley guy.
the little weasel.
And
Uh,
I don't want
I
him to go
remember-
over there and be a toxic little weasel. And
I remember all the time we would be watching like one of the games and they would like pan over to him and you're like, that weasel, Jim Schwartz.
I don't trust him. He just looks like a guy you shouldn't trust. I'm not saying I necessarily look like a guy you should trust, but like to me, that guy looks like a guy you shouldn't trust. So, he's shiesty. There's something about him. He's shiesty.
That's why he's not a defensive coordinator. He's just on another coaching role, I assume.
Right.
Other than that, apparently the Eagles are looking to sign a veteran cornerback as a free agent. Like they're looking at a couple of them. They're just looking to add another cornerback. I don't know. We have no money to pay Richard Sherman. I do have it here. Apparently, after all the restructures and free agent, the Eagles have $6.4 million in cap space as of right now.
Oh man.
So I mean, you got to figure how much money is going to be going into the draft prospects that we draft.
Right.
And then, like, maybe if they can make some restructures or whatever, clear up some more money to get one of the cornerbacks. But we're not scooping anybody else that I can see other than at the draft.
Go through the draft, man. Do some
Exactly.
trades. Do what you got to do through the draft.
Exactly. So, I mean, that's what I'm hoping for. I mean, who knows what's going to happen in the draft.
Right.
I am very worried about the Eagles' number 12 pick right now. But in other news, very small news, it doesn't matter, the NFL, Jalen Hurts changed his number to number 1, and I am all about it. Like, number 1 QB. Apparently, it's like the first time that a quarterback has had the number 1 for the Philadelphia Eagles. It's always
He's
been
just
like
trying to be like Cam.
It's always been like a special team number, and apparently, like our punter, I think it was Cam Johnson or Cam Jordan. He had the number 1, and now he left in free agency. So now Jalen, it was his number in college. So I mean, but I mean, it's just cool that like he was number 2 when Carson was there. He was the backup, and now he's like, all right, I'm the starter.
Like,
I'm number 1
now.
I'm number 1.
QB1.
Yeah, exactly.
In other Jalen news, today's Jalen Mills' birthday. Happy birthday, Green Goblin. Now that you're a part of the New England Patriots, I could be very happy to call you the Green Goblin, okay?
You know what? Happy birthday, Jalen Mills. I am very appreciative of all the things you've done for Philadelphia. If you're watching this,
you know what?
You helped us. You helped us win a Super Bowl. You stopped Julio Jones at the end zone twice at the very end of 2 games, like literally last second, like
how do you do
that? How do you do that, Jalen Mills? I don't know, but you did.
Put that out there.
I'm forever grateful to Jalen Mills. I'm glad you're studying the Green Goblin because you always keep Philly in your mind.
Hey, that's still his Instagram handle right now. So like that's what he's going by. A guy who dressing by what he wants to go by. If he wants to be Green Goblin.
Just remember, every time he's gonna be wearing your blue and shit, but you gonna take off the helmet. He gonna have the green hair, and I know there's a little part of him. Philly's still in there. You can always come back maybe in the next couple years after that contract runs out. You still play it up
after he wins the Super Bowl 2 in New England.
I don't know about all that now, but we'll see. But that's all I have. I don't really have any news as far as my teams.
Yeah, same as far as like breaking news or anything like that. Just more or less things we've been hearing throughout the week here.
Yeah. So you know what time it is? It's the crazy sports stat fact of the podcast. And here's the crazy stat of the week. Only one wide receiver has 1,200 plus scrimmage yards in each of the last 2 seasons. Can you guess who it is?
1,200 scrimmage. So you're saying rushing and receiving?
It just says wide receiver that has 1,200 scrimmage yards in each of the last 2 seasons.
I'm gonna go with DK.
Metcalf?
Yeah.
No, it's not him. It's not Adams. It's not Hill. It's not Julio. It's not Hopkins. And it's not Diggs. It is DJ Moore for the Panthers.
Bro, you know what's crazy? I was going to say Curtis Samuel.
Curtis Samuel?
Nope. I was going to say Curtis Samuel, and like I was thinking about the Panthers, like it's going to be something weird like that. You know what I mean? That's DJ awesome. Moore. DJ Moore. Balling.
He's very underrated, man.
And now he's got a Sam Darnold. We don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
We don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah, man.
DJ Moore put his picture up on the screen. Boom.
Appreciation post, DJ Moore. I mean, there's been a couple years where I scoop him in fantasy, and he's always been a great option
man,
to roll with.
He's consistent, and obviously that tells the truth right there. Like he's
consistently. So who knows what's going to happen here with Darnold this season?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to check out the Sideline Sports Network and all their great content they have. Go check out last week's episode with Jake. And make sure to go follow @SquadPodSports on Twitter. And then all of our other content on YouTube here. The other podcast is on its break right now until May sometime. But always check us out on Squad Nights on Mondays. But hopefully we get some cool news next week. And we'll see everybody later.
Peace out.
Peace.